Good afternoon, everyone. It's lunchtime, and we're back with Genshin. I am very, very low energy today, so I do apologize. So the last couple nights, it's been kind of cool outside, somewhere in the 50s, low 60s. So it's usually been pretty nice to have the windows open, circulate that cool air without the air conditioner, have our fan on. It wasn't like that yesterday. It was still pretty much just the low 70s, and even then, it was still like hot and sticky. Just not great feelings. I had our air conditioner on and on the energy saver, but I honestly think that's borked. Because it turns off like when it reaches supposed to reach the temperature. So like like low 70s and stuff, right? And normally we would have it go lower, but our air conditioner has that dripping thing on stuff that still hasn't gotten fixed yet, by the way. Um, so I had it on the energy saver also to, lower the electric bill a little bit. The moment it turned off, like you felt it. There was no like, okay, there's the cool air, it's gonna circulate a little bit. Oh, it's getting a little bit warm, turn back on. No, it just felt hot. And it would just sit there, and you looked at the remote, and it was reading like over 80 in the room. So I don't know what to believe, but it was just uncomfortable to sleep for me. Um, to the point where I actually had to go sit with the air conditioner a little bit just to cool off. So I don't know how many hours of sleep I've gotten, so I'm very tired. But we do have the special program later tonight at 12 a.m. EST. So I need to make sure I'm awake so I can grab the codes and actually, see the information because I'm actually really, really excited about it. So, more than likely, we'll see how far we can get today. So I might call it early just so I can sleep, crash, or whatever. Um, Otherwise, go the normal length. I'll crash after, see what happens. I am completely also out of caffeine. So, yeah. All right, I only had the two. I also didn't go mining yesterday. Yeah, yeah. We be needing crystals. All right, Mora. Show me those Mora ley lines. Where are you? If I don't see him in Sumeru, I'll just go to like Mondstadt. Oh, there we go. Not in the greatest of spots.
What a wild and desolate...
Also, I did this while doing the event yesterday. We completed Challenger Series 3. So yeah. Yeah, and whereas I'm happy with the progress this account has made so
Time
far,
to act.
those combat challenges, man. What the heck? Why are you not ziplining? Oh yeah, that's a stupid one. Hello.
Body and mind.
Into the wind.
I think we already did that. I say think, because I did stuff in the desert very close to doing stuff on the desert on my main, so I can't tell them apart.
Beg for mercy. Rain outlines your fate.
You had your...
Shudder. More speed. Eye for an eye.
One with nature.
No, my sword. More speed.
You okay there? Aw, nothing. Raspberries. Oh, shit.
Rain outlines your fate.
Precision strike.
Crush. Yeah. Rack and ruin.
Oh, no, there's two of them.
Beg for mercy.
Hmm.
Let me weave you a verse.
The wind knows me. Neutralizing threats.
Crush. More speed. Eye for an eye.
Got everything? Yeah.
More speed. Beg for mercy.
Clouds high. The birds.
Rain outlines your fate.
Precision strike.
That thud. That was hilarious.
Your
Shudder.
was foretold.
Rain cutter.
One with nature.
I condemn you.
The wind knows me. The eternal oasis of long life.
Beg for mercy.
Meet again.
Okay. That's all of that.
More speed.
Give me that Mora. I don't think I have a key. I'll check. I don't think I have a key, though.
More speed.
I'll check since I'm next to it. Oh!
Shudder.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. Oh!
Know my sword.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night. Into the wind. You had your chance.
Freeze to the core. Crush. Let me weave you a verse.
The wind knows me. Time to go. Now's your chance. Precision strike.
Beg for mercy.
You know, I actually forgot those could spawn out here. And I mean by the ley lines. I knew Sacred Beasts were out here. Alright, let's see. Do I have a key? So I gotta jump the other way anyway. No, I don't. It's another. I think it's the level of the statue. I don't think it's on the onion yet. Sadly, I'm not close to leveling either. Could I have just teleported? I might have. That's a good question. Where it be? Oh, it is way over here. Okay. It's this one.
More speed.
This is one of the ones I hate getting to. Alright. Boop. I don't know if I can do this one. Let's find out. missed. Mine.
A facial offering.
Rain outlines your fate.
As one with wind and cloud. You had your...
Shudder.
Yep, let's get away from those.
Rack and ruin. Vengeance will be mine. Crush.
Oh, you're not dead. Oh, okay.
One with nature.
Now you might be. Aw.
Shudder. Witness the power.
Clouds high. The birds come. Precision shot.
I condemn you. Freeze to the core. Beg for mercy. Rain outlines your fate.
Into the wind. You had your...
Eye for an eye.
The wind moves. Let's keep going, team. Final warning.
I can put these to good use.
Yeah. Can I see where that is? Yes, it's over there.
More speed.
So let's go grab that I keep wanting to say Geoculus. Not a Geo one. Oculus. Oculus. Oh shit. Should cause a hot in front. Alright. And then we gotta go like diagonally anyway. I think it's behind this thing. Or is it above me? It could be above me too. Check. Oh, look, we got some flowers too. By some, I mean one. Honestly, I think those are worse to track than the scarabs.
Shudder. Let me weave you a verse.
Fallen leaves. Adorn my night. One with nature. Precision shot.
Crush. Rack and ruin.
The wind knows me.
Rain outlines
Be a
your fate.
mess.
Rain cutter.
You had your...
Shudder.
Into the wind. Neutralizing threats.
Flood of frost. Crush.
Still won't believe that because that was underground. That should mean this would be just up here.
More speed. More speed. More speed.
Oh, as I was saying, like, I'm proud of where this account has gone, like how far it's come. And actually just leveling what we have and not really worrying about the optimal setups for stuff. Like I said, like Mika isn't on his optimal build. He's not on Noble S. However, if I am just using this team on the overworld and I'm not worrying about splitting the teams up or anything, he could just use Baiju's. I could just flip that. But the combat events, oh boy. No, come over here. I don't want to explode that on you.
Precision strike.
Ow.
Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you a verse.
Come over here. Can I suck
One
you?
with nature.
Nope. I wasn't close enough. Come here. Come on.
The range knows me.
There we go.
No, my sword.
Neutralizing.
Shudder.
Beautiful. Yeah, the combat events, I'm gonna struggle with for a little bit. It doesn't mean I couldn't get the max points or something like that with a lot of finagling, but that's a big headache I don't want to deal with. So we'll take the primos and run.
Ring cutter.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds come. You had your
Hi, honey. How you doing?
Care for wilderness. I condemn you.
Neutralizing threats. Now's your
Beg for mercy. Help me. Be a good audience. Rack and ruin. Beast, you were here to watch. Rain outlines your fate.
You had your
I win the charge attack. Busy? Okay. I'm sorry, honey. Now I should, in theory, be able to just teleport here and run up. And I do this to myself every freaking time I have to get up here. Kill you. Doing okay. How are you?
Visibility is excellent. If we head to higher
Oop.
ground, shudder.
one with nature. Dividing cover fire.
Beg for mercy.
How do I get up here? I forget. Or with a... Well, there's two ways to go about it. Either down here or over here. Or a long glide from up there.
Visibility is excellent. If we head to higher ground, we can do a full recon of enemy activity in the area.
Let's see. Been alright. Been alright. Very low key, which is how I like it. Yes. For us, it's going to be at 12 a.m.
More speed.
So I might actually take a nap to ensure that I am awake for it. Never mind on you staying up. The sad thing is, like, I don't know if it's going to be extra long because it is for a new region, or if it's still going to be like the typical like 40 minutes. Oh.
Shut up. Let me weave you a verse.
One with wind and cloud. Neutralizing.
Beg for mercy. Freeze to the core. Yeah.
Oh, don't you dare. Tried to push me off the edge.
More speed.
Typically it's been just this and Final Fantasy 14, but I do play some other like old school JRPGs just because I grew up with them, like Chrono Trigger, Breath of Fire. That crap, where is that? Is it under it? It might be under it. Oh, okay, no, it was something else. I don't have Suresh for.
Coming as foretold.
Or whatever the thing's name is.
The wind knows. Breaking as a tower. You had your. Leave the wounded to me. Eternal oasis.
Eye for an eye.
Eternal oasis at long last.
Really? Just her? Oh, we'll leave him alone.
More
He's
speed.
just enjoying the scenery. That's cool. That's cool. Alright, so now I can change party to friendship, go hand that stuff in. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Where is my friendship team? I keep thinking it's somewhere ahead of that, and it's not. It's way down the list for some reason. Haunting.
The sun. Feels almost as hot as those studio lights I'm in. Ad Astra Abbott. Thank you for Ad Astra.
And we'll check our Mora situation after doing all those ley lines. Awesome. My normal team. And how are we doing on Mora? Well, we'll teleport first, I guess, because I just wanted to go to the map. Still on the fence with getting Star Rail? Kinda, yeah. It has that old school RPG flavor that I love, but the intricacies of each character, I might have to. I feel like I'm gonna have to do more homework than I even do on Genshin to try to figure out who's gonna function together, who's worth pulling for, and stuff like that. I don't know if I could get away with pulling the characters I like and still having them function. Oh! Well, I wasn't expecting to see that we had 3 million Mora. That's awesome.
there are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
And also, truth be told, with gotchas and stuff like that, because let's face it, the best part of it is actually pulling for the characters and stuff. The thrill of the gamba. I don't know if I would have time to maintain the account, or if it actually is going to take a lot to maintain a Star Rail, excuse me, account. In terms of resources, I don't know if it's about the same as Genshin. And since we have just over 3 million Mora, I think I'll try to level that flower for Tainari, just to see how well it rolls. Tainari's flower, I don't think is too bad currently, but it could use an upgrade. See, my friends. I wish we could plant fruits and vegetables. Like IRL, I wish we could. Impalia. Am I saying that right? I think so. And bonk. Take that, chicken. Well, goose.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Oops, that's not Farina.
At the frying pan,
Into the wind.
you're toast!
Ta-da! Oh, I'm sorry.
One with nature.
Booba, get them! The statue was seen.
Ooh. Ah, crap. Can she get me over here? I don't think she can. Oops, oh, that's what. And boop. No, I missed. arts and crafts, really. I like drawing. I liked dipping around with Sculpey and resin. Doll customizations are a lot of fun too. They're just very, very time consuming. I actually find art supplies to be incredibly fascinating. Last year, the year before, I think it's the year before, I actually got a tanned sketchbook. Never used toned paper before. And I was like, yeah, I've heard it's supposed to make like colors pop on it. And it really does. But it also changes the colors drastically if you press down on colored pencils. And some colored pencils don't even show up on it, which I found very surprising. Down here. That's cool. I'm not huge into sports, and I've been that way since I was a kid. Sports always found a way to hurt me. I'm the only person that I know of that broke my pinky while playing football in gym class.
The wind moves me. Into the wind.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Oopsies, that's not very nice.
One with nature.
Ta-da! It was actually sort of funny too, because the way it happened was just that the football had bounced and I went to catch it, and the tip of the ball just went onto my pinky finger and bent it backwards, resulting in a break. And when it happened, I swore. This was in 8th grade. I swore, and my teacher like looked at me and yelled at me, saw that I was holding my hand, and he was like, "Oh, go to the nurse." It's like, yeah, like I know better than to swear in school, teach. Oh. Okay, that's the first time I've had Baiju snap there. Whoops. I just wanted to heal my characters. And out.
Time to go. Into the wind.
Don't you start, PlayStation.
Shower me with praise, nice and spicy. Eat this!
Mind the side effect.
One with nature.
Very nice. Stop climbing. Oh, good lord. Connection, behave yourself, please. Please.
Into the wind. Time to go.
House, not path. House, not path.
Time to go. Time to... Time to go.
Almost done.
Time
Almost
to go.
done. Sorry, my chat seemed to have crashed. What idea was that? I can now see things in chat again.
Time to go.
Not today, Vor. So I was waiting for you to respond, I reckon. Probably. Probably. I had to go into the back to actually see that. Appears my thing is working now. It kept disconnecting me from chat yesterday, too.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Oh my gosh. Although I also wonder if I'm having a connectivity issue. Like, it's not uncommon for Genshin not to, like, want to flip characters and stuff, but I am getting significant lag in doing so. I mean, that could be a connectivity issue with the remote play, too. Yeah, see? There's some lag happening today. So before we continue on, let's go to Tiggy. Hey Brian, how you doing? Tiggy artifacts. It was a flower, I believe. Oh, right. Your flower is actually pretty decent. This one just has EM, right? Yeah, crit rate and EM. So it needs, honestly, it just needs higher crit rate and it would be better. Or crit damage, excuse me. Let's see if we can take this to 16. Extra XP would be nice, game. Doing all right, doing all right. A little tired. Weather was not kind to me for sleeping. Oh, well, that's better for Tenari. Hell yeah, look at that. Tiggy, take that. What was your crit rate a little bit? But you still have over 50 crit rate, but now you have over 100 crit damage. Proud of you. On your What exactly do you mean? And if you're pitching something, that's not okay. I said do not self-promote. That is one of the rules. My VTuber model is a quick thing I made in Vroid. It is literally there to have something else on the screen that's kind of moving. Because I do not want to show my face. I do not have the money or the means to do something better at the moment. Uh, Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, back to the desert. Stop tracking that. Caravan rebot.
Are we there yet?
Yep, this is the place.
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on, a wild stab in the dark. You're like lambs to the slaughter.
You sound surprised, Paimon.
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru village? The boys have kept a close eye on you from the moment you set foot there.
That's a wide desert to turn around. But you're right. Don't make me turn this desert around, Taya.
Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the academia to look for the missing scholars.
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. Paimon knew leaving Sino behind was a mistake.
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't ya? Who do you think you are? You really thought we'd fall for your little business deal nonsense?
So you and Delavar have been partners all along.
Dia, I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of the loop. Those of us who hang around the tavern have stronger bonds than you think. But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru. There's nothing more we'd like to see than the desert folk overthrowing the academia.
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have convinced me that you're one of us.
Delavar. And Enger, you're here too, huh?
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors are what us followers of King Deshret despise the most.
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand why King Deshret is greater than the Dendro Archon. Little did I know, you don't deserve to join us.
Yeah, gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping innocent scholars, all because of some baseless rumors. Anything else I'm missing out on?
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds. Mora. Pathetic. You're all like a pack of street rats.
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's paying me. As long as there's a profit to be made, anyone can become my friend.
Enough talking! Get him!
You fellas.
Just as I expected. Let's teach him a lesson, traveler.
Do I get to use you? I don't know if I do. I don't.
Strike a pose!
A bitter pill to swallow.
Booba, get them!
The wind knows me.
Impossible!
Didn't even have to
How could
burst
you?
jangling.
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you say it? It's only natural for a traveling mercenary like me to be out of the loop. I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills, correct? I mean, that is what I said after all. And of course, you would believe everything he reported. The only thing you know about me is that I'm a mercenary, but you've never seen me in action. Even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, you believed that Candace was the only one doing all the real fighting. That so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. She just uses her connections to gain the trust of others. That's what you thought, right?
Ugh. You lied in the village because you figured that we'd have people watching you.
And you were stupid enough to fall for it. I figured as much the first time we drank together. You all thought you were so smart. Pathetic. Okay.
Boot to the
that should
head.
be all of them.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we were in Aru Village?
You know, in Sumero, I don't think you do at all. Huh. No, I guess you don't in any of the Archon quests, right? That's a missed opportunity. That's a real missed opportunity to get people to want to pull for characters.
No task can be done without preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious-looking people while you were out investigating.
Oh, but instead of catching them right away, you let them report back.
Those two who were snooping around were just a couple small fries. If we want to get the real catch, we have to be patient and give it some time.
So those names you mentioned.
Oh, you mean the funny names she mentioned back in Uncle Ampu's house? The wide-eyed butcher, scar-riddled bandit, Paimon can't remember them all.
Other than domains and various start, with the characters you get anyways, you don't get characters in the main story. Again, you're right. Now that I think about it, you're right. And I feel that that's such a missed opportunity. Or maybe that's benefit just to have just you doing the trial over and over to see if you like the characters. Because we know the problem with Dia at the start. I'm saying at the start because she didn't have her artifact set. So she didn't exactly function the way people thought she would anyway. Didn't have her artifact set, and she kind of didn't really have a team to belong to, but that's just because people didn't understand that she's support. She's a tank support.
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Edgar and Delavar like to talk themselves up when they're drinking. Edgar, the wide-eyed butcher, and Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, are the nicknames they came up with for themselves. Alcohol has a way of making people share what they really think. So Edgar and Delavar are always rambling in the tavern about how King Deshret is a superior deity.
What about Zaki?
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find Delavar first, and then try to track him down.
So who is the ducktail bearded crook?
That's what you wanted to ask when we were at Uncle Anpu's house, right?
Why is it
Jabari's
ducktail?
one of the villagers you talked to. You know, the one who wanted to treat Isak and his grandpa to some food.
Wait, so he's a radical too?
Lunch over. Hopefully I can do computer stuff for the rest of the day. I got a lot of quests put in. Okay, hon. I'll make you some coffee after stream so you can make some iced coffee when you get home. I might go across the street and get some soda for some caffeine, honestly. Go figure, the week that I decide I want 7-Up from my soda is the week I really, really need caffeine.
No, he isn't. I just needed to tack on a random villager name to make the eavesdropper think that I was making some wild guesses based on my impressions.
Wow! What a genius idea! Well, that's an expert mercenary for you.
Ah, you're too kind. It was straight from the usual playbook, if I'm honest.
So, that thing you were saying before, is it really true?
About what?
About how mercenaries only care about Mora, and that anyone's a friend as long as there's a profit.
Does that bother you?
I don't think you're that kind of person.
What makes you so sure?
Because even without an employer, you're still helping us out.
Dia, do you dislike the Dendro Archon like the other desert folk?
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon. I've heard a lot of nice things about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion and gratitude. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would be so involved in the lives of everyday people, unless they were truly compassionate.
I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in King Deshret, making the Dendro Archon out to be an enemy. It's all the academia's trickery.
But I see through it all. And unlike them, I can never be hostile towards anyone who's never done anything wrong.
Dia.
Anyway, looks like we're done with business here. Traveler, lend me a hand. Let's tie him up and bring him to the village.
It's a long walk to the village.
This should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here.
All right. I'll be in touch. Until then, please stand by.
Candace, do you need any help?
Candace will be okay on her own. I trust her, so you can too. She's been guarding Aru village for quite some time now. If anyone is qualified to question the offenders, it's her.
While I'm questioning them, why don't you pass some time by exploring the area?
I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning, Traveler.
Sounds good.
As for these idiots, let's just hope they live to see another day.
6 to 12 the following. Somehow now the answer was obvious.
Hey, Dia!
Right on time.
Did we learn anything from the criminals?
We'll know any moment now.
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well. Have you been friends for a long time?
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong warrior, she never misuses her powers against others.
Oh, Paimon knows what you mean. Like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight outside the ring.
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. It takes strong convictions to be as dedicated as she is, and shoulder that kind of responsibility. Us mercs, on the other hand, we pretty much live from one day to the next.
He would approve.
Well, Paimon thinks you're great too.
Really? Thanks for that.
Speaking of Sino.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's pretty early too.
Yes, I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more persuasive methods?
Right.
Come on in, everyone.
Come on, let's go inside.
Candace, where? Whoa, you look furious.
Do I? Huh. What gave it away?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself at the corners of your mouth.
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would agree.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, don't beat us anymore. We're gonna die.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
She messed it really quickly, too. Now she's just terrifying as he is.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The absurdity is mind-boggling. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones towards your goal. Tell me, what would you do to you in my position?
Mercy! Please have mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may all be desert dwellers, but there is one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of King Deshret will only result in war. And war serves no one. The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And that is not a responsibility that you can afford to shoulder.
We understand. We're sorry. I'll tell you everything I know. Please, just let us go.
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the tavern. That's how we ended up hearing about King Deshret's resurrection. Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in King Deshret's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish for.
They're called Village Keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread the word about King Deshret's resurrection and talked us into helping him. In return, he said he'll help facilitate the resurrection process.
Where are the village keepers now?
I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. It was all him.
2.
He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear. Just ask them if you don't believe me.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
Do you have any idea who that mystery person might be?
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secrets. No way. That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself King Deshret's envoy.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu? What do you mean?
Smooth.
Okay, speak.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man they speak of could be from the academia. Some time ago, people from the academia attempted to take the village keepers away. I refused, insisting that they are part of our community. It strikes me now that this secretive character shares the same goal they had.
Which means it's highly likely that the academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the village keepers right into their hands. They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now they're trying to take them back? We aren't gonna let that happen.
Not the academia again.
In Smira City, Sataria also mentioned King Destrich was wretched and it's just the academia's misinformation campaign.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the village keepers?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the academia. A change in their plans likely means they found another way to exploit the scholars. Regardless, our top priority now is locating the village keepers.
You're right. Isak is still waiting for news on his grandpa.
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to track them down.
Yes. Pack up and get ready to leave.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything outside the village to us.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready.
Give me that hero's wit.
Let's get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus far.
You were gone for ages, and now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Where have you been anyway? Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname!
Go ahead. That won't stop you.
Never mind. Paimon's got nothing. There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy. It makes it so hard.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru village and keep searching for the truth of this matter, yes?
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying here, so we thought that we might as well take the search elsewhere. Enough with the silent treatment!
Maybe he's giving us time to think.
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
Alhaitham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village. Bold of you to question our choices.
That's true.
Yeah, you're all talk!
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts.
Also true.
Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But before that, You need to understand where she's coming from.
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether King Deshret or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance to them. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. That's why you believed there was no further information to be found in this village.
So you're saying we can find new info from someone we've already spoken to?
Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived. The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors introduce unpredictability into the equation.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars.
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are King Deshret fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not too familiar with what goes on at night.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have collapsed long ago.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru Village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this, maybe you should ask her.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
We're on it!
Okay, I'm gonna take a quick BRB, grab myself another drink. I'll be right back.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you. Parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
And Sling Station, you're getting kind of toasty. A little bit of hot air blowing on my controller. My controller is very warm.
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler?
Sure thing. Hi, Miss Shawnee.
Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something.
Okay.
Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better?
No,
Why's that?
because it'll only result in conflict.
That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some reservations. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
I can't promise anything, but I'll do the best I can.
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in King Deshret. I don't belong to either side, and neither side would want me.
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told Alhaitham. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion.
It used to be louder and more frequent. But ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often. And when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
Did you make out where the sounds were coming from?
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
We need to check out that hospital.
Yeah, let's go!
Sounds bad.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape. And there's sand. Monsters! Watch out! Eat this!
Into the wind.
Remember, health comes first.
Time to shine!
Clouds high.
Oh, this lag is really bad.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected.
What were you even expecting?
Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, something like that. He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one. Let's go in and take a look.
Hey, we haven't found Squat. Are you sure we aren't wasting our time here?
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then, I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read? What are you reading? Let Paimon see.
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion in contrast with an object in forced motion? Huh? When free from external influences, every entity displays the tendency to follow its natural trajectory?
So, you got that?
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya! How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this.
It wouldn't kill you to read a book once in a while either.
Hey, Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. Paimon knows plenty of useful stuff already. And anyway, is that Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumeru are so complicated?
Okay. Paimon's the best. She's really not, but we'll let her believe it.
sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Just a casual stroll, trying to get to it.
From here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Something is off about the interior here. As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
What a wild and...
Okay, one is over there. Oh my. Okay, that one's sealed, so I probably have to hit this one first. That's still sealed. You're sealed.
Like a lamb to the slaughter.
Your aggro is so weird.
Mind the side effect.
One with nature.
Strike a pose!
Into the wind.
Okay, so the two around here are the ones that were sealed. So, gotcha.
As one with wind and cloud.
No, you stop that.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Okay, and the last one's up here, right?
One with nature.
How about we don't go next to the exploding barrels with the fire? Well, you keep. Frost up. Why? Why must you climb on everything?
Look, there's someone over there.
We need to be careful.
Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the Academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
So how did he become like this?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Razak hiding in a corner. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
The Eremite guy who went mad.
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
Correct. The Academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the Academia. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the Academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, They were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
I see.
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Paimon doesn't want to think about this.
How did you learn of this technology?
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Paimon's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
No, that can't be right. Most of the mad scholars have made contact with divine consciousness in the forest. That's what the academia is after. It's also safe to assume that this knowledge has something to do with Tui, the doctor, and also the balladeer. They're using divine knowledge capsules to turn the balladeer into a god.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
The academia needs people who have been exposed to the divine consciousness.
That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge, but what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Your motives are more specific and personal.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Though he rejects the notion of greater moral responsibility, he justifies his actions because they are true to his personal motives. Someone like him might actually make for a better ally.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
So what do we do with him?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
I don't remember. Is the key actually down here? Okay, that should be the first one, yeah. Should I not read the full? Okay. I don't know if there's anything down here. So, new. This just... Yeah, this just takes me back up here. Okay, back to our village. Been thinking about that joke, on.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar Hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru Village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the Academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue.
Care to share your thoughts?
Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is, Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Alhaitham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the Academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
Exactly.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now! If the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be...
One step behind him.
Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going.
You're getting smarter, Paimon.
I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Okay.
Yay! Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you! Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
Follow Sino. Where is Sino? Alright, teleport to Sino? No, well... Sino!
So, where do we go from here?
Sino, do you remember the route you took?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
Oh, yep, alright.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll up our sleeves and do some work.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work.
Now isn't the time for complaining, Paimon.
Okay. So we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there looks like it's buried really deep.
These are likely fragments of an Academia-developed device, something akin to a headset. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way because there are device fragments scattered around here. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other things nearby.
Is this what we're searching for? It looks kind of scary.
This is definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry, your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
I agree.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
But running on sand is so tiring.
Was that necessary, Sino?
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Of course it is.
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do. Need me to...
I knew it. That's our Dia.
Dia? Why would you...
Dia! Hey, what are you doing?
And there's the kid screwing it up.
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? Why are you on their side?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that something?
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru village?
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself. I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more admirable than theirs.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing can deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting King Deshret. Once our Lord of Old returns to this land, we will have a new beginning.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of King Deshret. Whether I live by the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort, my soul will always carry this conviction.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring King Deshret back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if the chance of success is 1 in a million, we must be willing to give everything we have.
She said what everyone else wanted to say to Paimon. I mean, who hasn't shouted at the screen? Especially if you've been fishing.
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes, We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now is cracks in this desiccated land. But fate has finally dealt me a hand to play against the Academia. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the Academia's forces and fight our way beyond the wall of Samiel.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The Academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. Your powers are negligible in comparison. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the Academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
They look more like pawns of the Academia to me. Why would I listen to anything the people of Greater Lord Rukkhadevada have to say? Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed King Deshret. We desert dwellers will never trust the likes of you.
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the Academia?
I'll hit them.
These people have no value as bargaining chips, but I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hostage. These scholars were exiled from the Academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a much greater asset to you.
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the hostages, do you?
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars, perhaps even find out the truth.
Think you can talk me over with that confident look of yours?
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the Academia.
You are the scribe. What do you have against the Academia?
Not all desert dwellers believe in King Deshret, and the same applies to the Academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the Academia's way of doing things?
You Academia scum! Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on the other side of that wall. I've made myself clear enough. I won't listen to another word from the Dendro Archon's people.
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me? Do you trust me?
We've known each other for years. Of course I do.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm. Come on, Raman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the Academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
An arm from the Flame Mane. You've piqued my interest. But what if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs. And mercs don't tend to live long unless they have their wits about them.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers together.
Let's do it right here then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate! He just wants to make things more difficult!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We
She's
came
me
here to
off
save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Raman, I'm holding up my end of the deal here. You'd better not let me down.
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Yeah.
Stop!
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. Where's the sense in cutting my own kin to pieces? You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
High noon?
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Dia! That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually cut your arm off?
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm.
Please don't do that ever again.
Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a limb, you gotta double down to seal the deal, you know?
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would do more harm than good.
As you wish.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened. I should have trusted you.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa, so I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself?
He is just stating the truth. That's just how he is.
Okay, let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up. Today was just a trial run. Noon tomorrow is gonna be the hard part.
Oh, cool. It just takes me there. All right, and we will stop here for today because, like I said, at noon. What time do I start? Noon. So that'll be it for me today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed the story. We'll see how far we get for Sumeru tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the special program tonight. And we can talk about that too with whatever they're going to be releasing for quality of life stuff. So until then, take care.